All right, welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Rise Personal Training Podcast. I'm Coach Wyatt here with Coach Chris.
What's up, guys?
And today we are going to be talking about realistic expectations. Specifically, what are the importance of realistic expectations, what the numbers actually look like in terms of how much fat you should be losing or muscle you should be building, and some factors you need to be aware of when starting your fitness journey. So when you start your fitness journey, when you resume it, or you've been on your fitness journey for a while, you're going to have a goal. You're going to be working towards something, or you're going to have something that you've been working towards. Mm-hmm. And, goals are super important. Goals keep you accountable. They keep you training. They keep you on top of your nutrition. And, very often it's something you can always relate back to on, am I making progress? Am I actually moving backwards? Now, the issue we want to cover here is how that could actually be a bad thing when you pair it with an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
Specifically, we get clients, they come in, they're like, hey, I have a goal, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to build 15 pounds of muscle, get a little bigger.
Which is great. It's a great goal to have.
Exactly. And it's, again, something you can always relate to.
Right.
We start training. It's something we can definitely do while you're training with us. But then it's I want to lose this 30 pounds in a month because I got a wedding coming up.
Yep.
Or a reunion or something. And it's just like, look, we can always work towards these goals. We can achieve these goals, but that is, for your situation, an unrealistic expectation. And, if you set that precedent, you're training and you're not hitting the numbers, or you're not making that progress you want to make, it's going to lead to, you're going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to, possibly just give up the gym, be like, I'm not making the progress I want. And so, when you are looking at your goals and you're kind of reevaluating where you're at and what seems reasonable, it's important to understand there's going to be, one, the numbers we see, the numbers you should be hitting, and then the factors that, again, are based off the individual, your lifestyle and age and all that. And we'll get a little bit more into that. And so, when we go over these factors and numbers, it's, really reevaluate where you're at, and then, see, is the timeline you're giving yourself, realistic in a sense.
Right, and timeline's huge. I mean, there are different rates at which people are going to lose fat, gain muscle, and it's really dependent, again, like you said, on those factors. I mean, on the whole, if we generalize it, most people, you can probably see about 1 to 2% of fat loss, of percent body fat loss. That's about 1 to 4 pounds of body fat a month. And obviously, again, that changes just based on how you're moving, what you're doing day to day, how you're eating. And then, of course, muscle gain as well. It's close to the same. It's about 0.3 to 3.5 pounds of muscle gain per month. But again, factors are huge. How much food you're eating, what that food contains, how much exercise you're doing as far as in the gym or cardio or stuff like that. There's always factors that are going to affect each and every aspect of your fitness journey. Mm-hmm. So making sure you know what those factors are. Age is huge for women and for men. As you get older, it's harder for you to lose fat and gain muscle mass just because hormones change, everything's different. For obviously, as you're younger, it's a lot easier. Mm-hmm. Say a 45-year-old man trying to lose a lot of body fat, gain some muscle, versus a 20-year-old kid who's basically at the peak performance, has all of their hormones raging,
the free time
they're
in the
going
world as well.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, free time is huge. Like you said, if you're working full time, you don't have a ton of time to go to the gym. If you're not, you're young, you're working part time, you can do whatever you want with your free time. Medication, if you're taking some medication, some cause weight gain, some cause drastic weight loss, like we've been seeing recently. A lot of people with Ozempic or things like that, even if they're not using it for the weight loss and they're diabetic, they're losing weight as well.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there are tons of factors. You could be, like, for females, it's gonna be a lot harder for them to lose weight and gain the muscle because estrogen is a lot higher in their body. Mm-hmm. Males, the complete opposite. It's gonna be a lot easier for them to lose that fat and gain that muscle. But yeah, it's just dependent on how much work you put in as an individual, making sure you're consistent in the gym, and then making sure that diet isn't a detriment to your progress moving forward. Right. So setting those realistic expectations based on you as a person and what your goals are, and your every day-to-day life has a big effect on those things.
Right, for sure. And yeah, so it's just, look, when you're looking at yourself, where you're at, your current lifestyle, it's you can't expect to be like, hey, I'm going to get this. I'm going to lose these 30 pounds, no problem. TikTok told me, Instagram told me I could do it. I just got to go to the gym and get it done. But it's like, again, you're 45, you have 3 kids, you're working overtime, at your job. And it's like, you don't have the free time or the time to really expedite this process. You have the time to get results slow and steady, but your current environment just doesn't allow for that.
Right.
And so, going into the gym to not set yourself up for failure, you'd have to understand, well, it's like, look, if they come in, they're like, I want to lose the 30 pound 30 days. It's like, look, how much free time do you have?
Yeah.
How's your diet look? Are you cooking just for yourself? Are you cooking for your family?
Yeah.
Do you live with your family? Oftentimes you'll be buying healthy foods, and then your husband's buying the unhealthy food,
the
or your
Cheetos or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
your kids want the unhealthy snacks, and for you, it's just like, do you have the discipline yet to be like, I'm not going to eat that? It's like, no, you're probably gonna. I'm hungry. I want a little snack. I'm gonna take some.
Yeah.
And so, it's like, really, look at the age, look at your current lifestyle, look at, are you someone that moves a lot? Do you go hiking? Again, if we take the 20-year-old and the 40-year-old,
right.
It's, does the 20-year-old, maybe he goes on hikes with his friends, he's going out a lot more, he's moving more in his day-to-day.
He's getting better sleep.
Exactly. He works a part-time.
Yeah. He doesn't have a ton of stress.
Right.
Things like
Exactly.
that. It's change,
or he thinks he does, but he doesn't know it yet.
He hasn't hit 45 years old yet. He doesn't have the 3 kids to worry about.
Exactly. And so it's like, while both people are getting progress, you're like, hey, this person next to me at the gym's getting even more. What's happening? It's like, you're in completely different paths.
Right.
You have to understand the results you are getting. They seem small to you, but those are huge victories for someone in your boots. Most people in that situation are like, I'm too busy to even think about the gym, think about myself, So if any small jumps, like we said, the 1% to 2% body fat, the 0.3 to 3.5 pounds, in your head, it's not a lot. Yeah. But you do that monthly, and it quickly starts to add up, and it doesn't take a lot of body recomposition to start seeing results.
Right, and you might not see it visually because you're looking at yourself every single day.
Right.
And that's why the InBody that we have here, so important.
Exactly. It's InBody's, it's the body composition scale we have. It's the most accurate we'll get unless you're going to a medical lab or a doctor's office and doing a DEXA scan and whatnot. And so, every 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be hopping on the machine. And this is where it's like, again, you're like, well, how do I track how much fat I'm losing? How do I track how much muscle? The scale's going up, but, it's not, I want it to go down. It's like, well, look, this is going to tell us, are we losing fat? Are we building muscle? It's going to tell us the exact numbers we want. Because, again, the weight could go up on the scale. Yeah. We have a lot of clients where, I think you dealt with it.
Yeah, there was a client, I think it was a couple weeks ago. She came in, she was saying, hey, I get on the scale at home, the number keeps going up. I don't understand why it's going up. Like, I feel like I'm stronger. I feel like I'm working out. I'm here every like other day. I think she's in 3 to 4 times a week. And she says she just doesn't feel like the weight's going the way she wants it to go. And I said, well, when was the last time you did your InBody? She's like, well, I did one like a couple months ago. And so we got to do it a little bit more often because that tells you, like, hey, your weight is still going up, but your body fat's dropping.
Right.
And like visually, I can see it. She's dropped quite a bit of body fat, and she's a lot stronger. She's lifting heavy weight. So we got her to do an InBody. I think it was the next time she was in, and like we said, her body fat dropped quite a bit, and her muscle mass had already bumped a bit too. So she was intaking more protein, and it helped. She's been steadily going the right way, and now she said she threw out the scale at home because she doesn't use it anymore.
Right.
She's too afraid to look at the number going up. She'd rather look at the metrics that on the InBody. It's a lot easier.
If for our members here, use the InBody. We tell you to get on every 2 to 4 weeks. If you are scared of it or you haven't done it for a while, that it doesn't lie. It tells us what we need to see, and it keeps us on track. So again, it's like every 2 to 4 weeks when we jump on it, we'll see, are we losing the fat? Are we building the muscle? Again, who cares about that weight number? Because we've had people drop in clothes, drop in dress sizes, but their weight stayed the same. That's the body recomposition. You're losing fat, which takes up more space, and you're putting on muscle. If you lose 5 pounds of fat and put on 5 pounds of muscle, you're going to weigh the same,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but you're going to look different. And so that's something that, and it's a tool we can use to, like I said, keep us on track.
Yeah.
We said the 1 to 2%, the 0.3 to 3.5 pounds. That's going to tell us, are we hitting those metrics each measure?
Yeah.
And the measures may fluctuate, you know, to make a
100%.
good measure, bad measure, good measure. And that's where it's like, we look at the trend.
Right.
You know, people are complaining, oh, this is a bad measure. I only lost 0.2 pounds of
Yeah.
fat. And it's like, well, that's still progress.
But look
That's
at where
still
you
good.
started.
Look at where you started.
3 months ago.
Exactly.
You've dropped 5 pounds,
Down
6 pounds.
10,
Yeah.
like something crazy.
Right.
And people forget it's over the course of your whole training, you know, career, because it's a lifestyle change.
And the nice thing too is as you do that more often, you can kind of reevaluate your goals and set more realistic expectations. Because as you get more training under your belt, obviously your goals are going to change a little bit. Say instead of you just dropping weight, you want to get to a certain weight. Now, oh hey, I want to be able to get to that weight and do a pull-up,
Right.
or and do this, and do, or go and lift this, do that. So the goals change, the realistic expectations change, but it's very important,
Right.
regardless.
For
Yeah.
sure. And so again, that's the tool. It's going to let us understand where we're at. We have the goal of where we want to be, and it's going to keep us on the correct route there.
It's
you
going to keep
know?
us honest.
It's going to keep us honest, and that's the main thing. Again, a lot of people don't want to see it because, you know, they had a bad weekend or whatnot.
Yeah.
But still, what is it? It motivates you again. It's like, okay, I slacked off this weekend. I got to get back to it because I have a number I want to hit.
Right.
And so, you know, for our members listening, really, you know, reevaluate your goals, see where you're at, and, you know, take into consideration those factors. It's like really, you know, think about your age, your environment. Are you living with family? How's your diet? How's your activity level outside of work? You know, are you going home and moving around all the time? Are you going home, you're tired, you work some overtime, you're just laying down?
Yeah.
Weekend comes, you're tired, you're sitting down again. Or are you someone that's like, hey, I'm going to walk. Hey, it's the weekend, it's nice out, I'm going to go on a hike. It's like you're moving more, so that's going to help you a little bit more when you're trying to burn
Always.
the calories
Yeah.
and everything. So it's just reevaluate the goals, you know, check your last few measures. If you haven't done an in-body measure,
Get it done.
get it done this week.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, talk to us, talk to the coaches. We'll help you out with all that, and really just see are we, or kind of relight that fire. You know,
Yeah.
get that motivation back to
Yep.
to really start pushing towards the goals again. And, you know, if you have already reached the goal, it's like you're not done.
Set a new one.
We can set new ones. You know,
Yeah.
it keeps
we
us
can
going.
keep pushing.
So yeah, just keep into consideration, you know, all these factors, how small the numbers actually are, and then just understand if you're hitting anywhere in those ranges with, you know, most of our members' lifestyle and what they go through, it's like you're on track. You're doing great. You're doing better
Right.
than most.
Yep.
You know, so you know that's all we got for you today. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.
It's not an easy process. Keep it moving.
Yep.